A massive story breaking in the last few minutes. The Washington State Supreme Court is refusing to review the lower court ruling handing control in perpetuity of the Pac-12 to Oregon State and Washington State. And again, I think we've told you for the last 2.5 weeks, this was the eventual outcome. It has been very clear from the beginning, from sources that we spoke to close to the situation, the exiting 10 members did not have a leg to stand on. And the crux of their argument that they were unjustly being punished and ruled by Oregon State and Washington State simply had no merit based on the facts of the case and the precedent sent by those very same exiting 10 members on USC, UCLA, and Colorado, who were all kicked off the Pac-12 Board of Directors the moment that they notified the conference that they were leaving. That same methodology was applied to the exiting 10 members, and that essentially hands control to Oregon State and Washington State. Good thing I don't speak for a living, right? To Oregon State and Washington State, who now control the vast fortunes and future of the Pac-12. Jake, are you at all surprised by this?
I'm not all that surprised. I mean, obviously you have a court here that's going off of what the piece of paper said. And I think, that's what their job is, and that's why I think it was so surprising that the legal team for the 10 members who left came with such a weak argument, when they had their day in court. And I think this is the danger, you sort of come into when you want to play a game that requires you to have a weak legal argument in day one. Who's to say if you ever get day two? And that's what this really is saying. Hey, we're not going to allow you guys to re-argue something that seems pretty clean cut according to the contract that you agreed to. Now, I've always maintained on the show, Grum, that I felt like the 10 members who left had much more to fight for and a much better argument to make. But obviously, I'm not the guy in the room, and they chose to go with this legal counsel, and now it's going to cost them a lot of money. And now, so essentially you've made your bet. Now it's time to lie in it. And I think, the bigger part of the story is Oregon State and Washington State finally being able to move on, finally being able to sort of build some momentum in their conversations with the Mountain West and move on from, the scheduling alliance that's been created. But now we can move on from that part of the conversation and say, hey, let's talk merger. What do we think? And obviously they've had those conversations, just like, they were ahead of schedule on the scheduling alliance. They're obviously already got the blueprint for what a merger would look like or how they all want all that to work out. So my thoughts here are just that this is not surprising, number one, because I just don't think that there was a lot to review. I mean, the ruling of the lower court in Washington said, hey, our ruling here is that, you guys behaved one way when these schools left, and now you want it applied to you differently. Yet another example of a rule being applied to you and you not liking it. So that's all this is. And I have to say, I'm not surprised by the upper court in Washington's ruling on this. It makes perfect sense. It's logical. It's straightforward. And I just don't see too much problem with it. It's a very logical conclusion to the story.
Yeah, I think this was the only conclusion to the story. And I again tell you, we have stayed the course here since day one that the exiting 10 members did not have a leg to stand on. I think it was a huge mistake for these 10 members to go into court and not make an argument better than, hey, we feel like we're going to get screwed. And that's exactly what happened, and you did it to yourself. You look right here on the screen. This is directly from the documents issued by the Washington State Supreme Court. Both motions for discretionary review are denied. Because the motions for discretionary review are denied, it is not necessary to consider whether to retain or transfer the motion pursuant to Rap 42. The stay previously imposed by the commissioner is hereby lifted, which means that Oregon State and Washington State win. They are now firmly in control of the Pac-12. I think, as it's been explained to me, very straightforward here. Oregon State and Washington State will have to pay the exiting 10 members what is due to them this academic year. And that's it. There will be no fire sale of assets. Our sources have told us for months that the Mountain West and the PAC-2 have a framework of an agreement to bring all of the schools under the Pac-12 umbrella with Gloria Nevarez as the commissioner. Now, has that changed since a football and a basketball agreement have been reached? Who knows? We'll see. But it looks like that is the direction that the Pac-2 will head. It is a historic day for Washington State and Oregon State. And as I have said, mainly to Oregon State fans who want to burn their diplomas, not so fast, my friends. I don't think you have any reason to burn your diplomas. I don't think you have any reason to jump ship and find a new university. This is a very good day for the fans, the athletes, the employees of Oregon State and Washington State. This saved your academic and your athletic life because now you can continue under the umbrella of the Pac-12. You are going to, in the future, be able to compete for a college football playoff spot. I mean, everything that you have complained about and wanted and desired has now been handed to you. You control the Pac-12 brand. You control the Pac-12 assets, including the cash. You control the future earnings. You control the incoming NCAA tournament units. It is everything that Oregon State and Washington State needed. And Jake, I see a very bright future for the two. I think this is a massive, massive moment in time.
It's absolutely the first step back to prosperity. And I don't know, I don't know if we wind up seeing a reimagined Pac-12 brand or like what the conclusion of this will be, what the long-term setup between the Mountain West and the Pac-2 will be. But I think we're finally here. You can finally start to, rack your brain about how you'd want that to look. And I think that's the encouraging thing. I mean, I tend to agree with you, Oregon State fan specifically, but also Washington State fan was very negative and very like, oh my God, like the world ended. We're never going to survive. This is terrible. Our head coach left, our players left. When's our AD going to leave? Like, just rain cloud stuff. And I think that, this is that first step back. And I would be celebrating this if I were you. I would be, I would feel really good about it. If you're at Washington State, Kirk Schultz deserves a lot of credit for this, but you still got to fix that budget. You still got to find your way forward. So to me, yeah, it's a good day. It's a good day, but it very much feels like, hey, this was the first step in what is going to be a long process to get back to where you want to be. The good news is that Oregon's on your schedule if you're Oregon State. And to me, if you go undefeated and you find your way to beating Oregon, let's say somehow, I think you have a strong case at being in the 12 team.
I think all you need to do is get this merger done with the Mountain West, and you will become, I would guess, a G5 school. You will not be recognized as a P5, I would doubt.
Mm-hmm.
And all you have to do is win that conference year in and year out. And you have no reason to believe you'll be denied that opportunity. No way, no shape or form. I think there is no downside here.
And I think that, for college football, like when we look at this thing in the bigger picture, this whole situation is very much never before seen material. I mean, we've never seen, a conference burn down and then be in a position where, they've got to go to court to decide who gets what assets. And then, what after that? I mean, if let's say by March, we're talking about a Pac-2 Mountain West merger for 2025, and you reimagine the Pac-12, and all of a sudden you are able to retain your P4, P5 status, let's say, somehow, and your auto qualifier comes back. And I mean, all of that is obviously, hypothetical, of course, right? It's just us surmising. But I think without this step, you can't even begin to talk about that stuff.
No, you cannot.
And I think that's what's so great about it is like, man, we finally won something. The Pac-2, the two who were left for dead, the two victims, the two folks who couldn't help themselves, even though I disagree with that, but the two folks who couldn't help themselves, finally got over on the system. So again, I would feel very positively about this, But at the same time, if you're someone who's not a Washington State / Oregon State fan and you're just looking at this objectively, you're not surprised by this result. And it's hardly the final step in the process. And I think the next steps, the merger portion between these two in the Mountain West is largely, or is what the big picture cares about. Hey, like, if you're in the ACC, if you're, we're going to talk about Florida State here in a minute. Like, if you're a Florida State fan and you still want to leave the ACC, you should be paying close attention to this situation.
Yeah, I think the only thing that I would point out here, if you're Washington State and Oregon State, you do have to act reasonably in that you are required, and this is why I say you need to give the revenue earned by the exiting 10 members through this calendar year, through this academic year. You need to give that money to them and then go about your business. Because if not, you're going to wind up right back in that courtroom as set forth by the judge who made the original ruling. So it is really important that you make it very clear that now you are in control. Oh, okay, we're going to give you the money that you have earned through this year. And once this year is over, you are entitled to nothing because we are keeping the conference alive. And I just don't see any reason to do anything different. Adam Rittenberg from ESPN, Oregon State running back Damian Martinez has been reinstated for the Sun Bowl. That's huge news for Oregon State. So Oregon State's having a very good day. They're having a very good day. So apparently charges, you remember that Damian Martinez had a DUI incident. The district attorney did not file charges against him. So this is a great day for Oregon State, man. Like, let's get your comments in here. Where do you guys come down on this? What do you think happens now that that the Washington State Supreme Court has chosen not to review the lower court's decision, which I think, again, is the exact right decision. What are your thoughts on that? Which way do you guys think that this ends up? I think without question, this is going to be a merger with the Mountain West and the Pac-2 under the Pac-12 umbrella. And Gloria Nevarez will be the commissioner of that new league.
Which, my God, that is a sight for sore eyes, man.
And it is a basketball powerhouse is what this league is. Because you look at the Mountain West, that's a very good basketball league. That is a very, very good basketball league. Before we get to your comments, I do want to remind you, we are giving away 2 $100 Amazon gift cards today. Lost in all of the breaking news this is our last Friday show before Christmas. As we've told you, we'll be here Monday and Tuesday, and then we are off for the rest of the year. I say the rest of the year, the last week of the year. So today we are giving away 2 $100 Amazon gift cards. All you have to do to be entered is to go to one of 2 places. You can go to trydaytrading.com /Monty, sign up for their $10 30-day trial membership. You are instantly instantly entered to win the $100 Amazon gift card. I just got a lot of crap floating through my brain. You can also send us a picture that you have, or go into a store and buy any Bucked Up product. Go in, get to buckedup.com, use the promo code Monty to get 20% off at checkout, and you are instantly entered to win a $100 Amazon gift card. We will give 1 winner away for Bucked Up. We will give 1 winner away for trydaytrading.com /Monty. It is really simple.
Now, as always, you guys know this, and if you're a new listener to the program, you're about to find out creativity matters, right? Creativity matters. It's easy to just roll up with a shot of buckshot, a picture of buckshot, or a picture of your can of, Miami, and send that to me and say, hey, man, I'm entered to win. Yeah, but the problem with that is the dude who goes all in, like Maury Alvarez did last week, or like OG Gary does on a weekly basis. Those folks are more are going to get, more credit for their entry. They went out of their way to make the show better. So points for creativity.
I think, and this is just me, I think the best thing to do is become a member of the Monty Show.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you were an entry-level member, you get 10-to-1 entries. If you are a members-only content member, you pay $10 a month. You get into our Instagram group. It's a great group of dudes. You get 25-to-1. So if you enter and you go to trydaytrading.com and you sign up for the $10 charitable donation for their Santa, they're basically what they're doing is being Secret Santa for people who can't provide Christmas. So that $10 goes all the way to charity. You get a tax write-off. You sign up for that. You get into their 30-day trial membership, and you're a members-only content guy. You get 25-to-1 entries to everybody else.
Yes.
Pretty straightforward, man.
Let's
Pretty straightforward. Hook it up. DM Jake, SLC Jake.
Yeah, don't muddy the water, man. I handle it. I'm the gatekeeper. No excuses. Send it to me.
SLC Jake on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. Although Jake hates TikTok and never uses it, which pisses me off. But you can find him on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok. DM him a picture of your bucked up, or I would think a video is what it's going to take to win.
Probably,
a video of your bucked up, or that you signed up for the 30-day trial membership at trydaytrading.com, and we'll enter you to win and shout you out on the show. Matt Ritson for $2. Hey, Monty, my birthday's on Sunday.
Nice, dude.
Well, happy born day. Jake's birthday is on Monday. You are just 1 day younger than Jake. Happy birthday, Matt. I hope you have a great weekend. Brandon Butler gifted 10 Monty Show
Let's
memberships.
go.
Let's go, Brandon Butler. Appreciate you. Go Bears. All right, let's get your thoughts in here on the Pac-12. Gumby fresh out. Pac-10 to X-10. Exactly. Excommunicated. You're out. You're out. Pacing Cougar fan. Will the Pac X10 now go to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeal? It's over now. If the Washington State Supreme Court is not going to rule in your favor, it's over. It is over. So we'll see what happens. I don't think that you can appeal this again.
Mm-mm.
I just don't see how that happens. Let's see. Christopher, good. Hey, man, watch yourself with the emojis. You will get put in timeout. Jakey Two Holes looks puffy and pale, Matthew Farmer says.
Well, listen, I have the powerful.
Oh, hi.
Hey, hello. I have the power of the sun glistening on my supple skin. So I'm not pale. The sun is just shining on me. It's a big difference. Bro, what are you doing over there, bro?
My wife is sending me videos of her hitting a buckshot right now because she's got to get through the rest of her day. She's got some big projects she's working on. So there you go. Cougar Tracks, bring your money and come on over, OSU and Washington State.
Thanks.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. We'll see. Kaufman says, hi, all. Dakota Tubbs, hello, Dakota. Did the court decide what to do with Kliavkoff? Who gets him? I think the unemployment line gets him. I would guess. Pacing Cougar fan. George Kliavkoff, soon to be on the unemployment line.
Envelope calculations.
Exactly. Axe. Kliavkoff should just resign right now. Save himself further humiliation from being fired by the two schools.
Pack this thing up. We're out of here.
His contract expires the last day of the year, so he'll be done. Dakota Tubbs. Jake is thinking about all the steak and booze with Mo tonight.
Nah, it's not tonight, dude.
No,
That's
not tonight,
bro.
but that's going to happen. That's going to happen. Jimmy Otson, the Beaver alums I know don't think the entire Mountain West joins the PAC.
Wow.
Well, I don't know.
If you're in the Mountain West and you don't join the Pac-12, you're silly, dude.
But here's the thing that people don't understand. The Mountain West needs the Pac-12 as much as the Pac-12 needs the Mountain West. I mean, if you want to raise your profile, adding Washington State and Oregon State is the exact right thing to do. If you want to earn more TV money, adding Oregon State and Washington State is the exact right thing to do. If you want to earn more money and if you want to have more ad dollars, you want to play in bigger games, flying under the Pac-12 umbrella is the exact right thing to do. And I think you've already shown that your commissioner has all of the wherewithal and abilities to run a conference at a very high level. I think it makes all the sense in the world. And you already hold events in Las Vegas. You have a foothold in Las Vegas. There would be no reason not to be the preeminent West Coast conference. If you are the Mountain West, you merge with the Pac-12 under that Pac-12 umbrella. I cannot even think of a reason not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it
Makes perfect sense.
It would make very little sense for the Mountain West not to do that. And we know that they have a conversation already in the books. Like they already have what was described to us as a framework. And as we told you, once this went to the Supreme Court, they were going to do a scheduling alliance for football and basketball, which is exactly what they did. So I think that you are absolutely going to see the Mountain West and the Pac-12 come together as one entity.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be very surprised if that didn't happen. OG Gary, when the Mountain West becomes the PAC, they'll have 13 members. Okay. I think it'll be,
they'll figure it out.
And that's my point. Like I look at what is in the Mountain West and I say to myself, you have a lot of really good properties in the Mountain West. And you look at Boise, San Jose State, UNLV, Air Force had a phenomenal year at 8-4, 9-4 out of UNLV. Now, are universities like Nevada at 2-10 going to just all of a sudden get bumped? They're not. They're not. You wouldn't do that. Is Hawaii, that's a massive amount of travel, going to get bumped? You're not going to do that. I think you are going to wholly merge, and you're going to have to figure it out. You're not going to play everybody every year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if Alabama and Georgia don't play every year, I think we can figure it out in the Mountain West. Right? Like, who's the most valuable brand in the Mountain West, in your opinion?
Probably San Diego State. Probably. Just with their success in basketball lately. But, other brands on the lookout, obviously Boise State, assuming they come along. Assuming they continue to make progress, because I'm a big believer. And again, they haven't been lately, and I'm happy to have Boise State smack talk in the comments section. But I am a big believer that they're one of those brands that, you get the right person in the right seat on the bus, and that thing will take off. And they're just trying to find the right people to carry them, and so to me, most valuable right now, I think, is San Diego State. Yeah. But I would say Boise State can quickly get there if they make the right moves.
Yeah, I think so. And I think you're looking at a situation where, in my opinion, the most valuable properties in the Mountain West, I think UNLV absolutely has to be one. Now, you need to repeat the 9-4. You can't go to 3 you can't have a 3-win season.
Right. Yeah.
So I think you need to be able to do that. But I want to see what Boise's like once their facilities are done, because they've been a perennial powerhouse. You won the conference again. But I look at UNLV. I'm interested to see where Wyo goes with a new head coach. It's unfortunate that Air Force is leaving the conference. But I agree with you in basketball, San Diego State, obviously off of their run through the tournament. This is a very strong conference, and I think people just write it off as it doesn't matter. Well, I'm telling you, it matters. It absolutely matters. Matt Ritson for $2. What happened with the Pac-12 network, live or dead? I think it's to be determined. The Pac-12 network has been an absolute money suck. And so I would be surprised. I'd be very surprised if it stayed alive in its current incarnation.
And I think the relationships the Mountain West has with CBS, are obviously valuable when you talk merger. And I think that,
and distribution of the Pac-12 network, certainly if you kept it alive, because you have the thing that you have to remember about the Pac-12 network is you have all of the infrastructure to produce live broadcasts. So there is value in that, but it has to be leveraged for financial gain. And let me just plainly speak that as it needs to be significantly distributed, because reach is everything when it comes to finances. And the Pac-12 network does not have reach. It is as simple as that. They don't have reach. Paulo for $10. The left coast south of Pebble Beach should sink into the Pacific. Then there would be a true Mountain West. Like, why would we want?
Yeah, what are you talking about, dude?
Okay, our first off the rails comment of the day.
Thanks for the tip.
I listen, it's all you guys. It's all you. DK for $5. Which commissioner has done the best job through their current realignment? Pretty sure I know the answer. Well, I mean, I got to think Brett Yormark. I mean, I
mean, Tony hasn't done too bad either, dude.
Yeah, but I think the fortunes and the viability of the Big 12 were in question.
That's true.
There were. I mean, if we're talking about which commissioner helped the Big 12 most, it's probably George Kliavkoff because of his inability to get his people to act. But Brett Yormark came in and instantly made financial decisions to solidify the future of the Big 12. Tony Petitti, with all due respect, yeah, sure, he was there when it all went down, but Kevin Warren's the one that had the expansion.
Right.
So I feel like that is, in my opinion, anyway. And sure, I could be wrong, but we'll see. Axe said Pac-12 Network announced layoffs happening in 2024. Not surprising. I mean, they were always downsizing.
Wouldn't you be?
I mean, certainly. I think you would be. I just, we'll see. I think it's very interesting to see where you end up and what you have with the Pac-12 network. I just don't know.
I just don't think it's ever been a legitimate network. It's never been one that's respected. It's never been one that anyone gives a damn about. Like let's not beat around the bush and just skip over the fact that this is not a well-run property. Now, that doesn't mean it can't be well-run. That doesn't mean that it can't be executed at a high level. But this is not, this is a family and friends network for players, man. That's what this was. This was never on ESPN or on some major partnership network, man. So that's why I say, like, whether they, if the merger actually does happen, and I don't think we should assume, but, if it were to happen, yeah, I would think that they try to get Pac-12 Network on CBS in some form or fashion. That's what I'd be trying to do. But on the other hand, if you sold all your assets and you just partnered with someone to produce it, who that's all they do, I don't know, like ESPN.
Yeah, we'll see.
That might be a better fit.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. Gumby Fresh Out, Air Force is leaving the Mountain West. No, they're staying. Air Force in Colorado State, you'll remember a year ago, 2 years ago, we're talking about going to the AAC, but they're staying. So did I say that? I may have misspoke. If I did, I apologize. But yeah, I think Air Force, like I said, Air Force has to repeat. I think you look at the power rankings, if you will, or the brands. I think Boise State is Air Force at 8-4. I mean, they had such a good year. Obviously they lost their last four, which sucks, starting with the Army game.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, yeah, I think they are, I think they have to repeat, but I want to see Boise. I want to see, like, is UNLV legitimately at this point a football program now? Because they have not consistently been. So it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out. But, we'll see. Let's see. Who else? Doug McMartin. Air Force is leaving the Mountain. No, I just said they're not leaving the Mountain West. I must have did you say they were leaving the Mountain West? I must have misspoken. So I apologize if I misspoke. The Air Force is not leaving. They could have left for I think it was the ACC in 2021, 22, something like that. But wasn't that, and I'm pretty sure that was with Colorado State, but who knows? We'll see. Phil Venzer, be a rebel. We're recruiting good. Number one in the Mountain West for 2024. I mean, you had a great year. So Gumby says, cool. Two teams in the Pac-12. Yeah. What is a Pac-12? Well, Gary, why are you being a hater, man? Like, this is the thing that I don't understand. Like, all of the former Pac-12 schools are like, the Pac-12's dead. Well, it's not. You just got your ass beat today. You just lost tens of millions of dollars. So you just got your ass beat. Whole lock, stock, and barrel. You just got beat. So, like, what is a Pac-12? Like, come on, man. Yep, they were 8-4. I think this is a great day.
Yeah, Air Force is a valuable brand, and
Yeah.
it is a great day for the Mountain West. And I think, again, Gary's gonna Gary. I don't hate you, bro, but I don't really understand why you're saying stuff like that because you did, not you, but the 10 who left just lost. So it seems like that conference that you're wondering what is a Pac-12 seems like they just legitimized themselves as still alive. So to me, I sit here and I look at this and I say, hey, it's a great day. Celebrate it. Feel good about it. Like it's been a rain cloud for what? A year probably.
Yeah.
I mean, this thing's been going downhill for how long? So that's why I say, like, let's not, just skip over what today means, man. It's a big deal.
More breaking news on the Monty Show. You guys will remember that temporary restraining order for the transfers and the lawsuit in West Virginia that said, hey, if I'm on a waiver or if I've applied for a waiver, I'm instantly ready to play. Well, one of the things that was so concerning was, well, if your university lets you play, they could be punished and you would be punished if this ruling goes the wrong way. Well, now apparently there has been a negotiated settlement. The Attorney General of Ohio, David Yost, no retaliation against players who played during the temporary restraining order. The TRO is converted to a preliminary injunction to last till the end of spring sports. This is a big deal because now what this says is, hey, if I'm on a waiver and West Virginia basketball lets me play in this case, West Virginia basketball will not have to vacate games and you will not be punished as a player.
Mm-hmm.
So this is exactly the right thing to do. The NCAA finally making a decision that makes sense. So that's a big one. I was never in favor of punishing the kids that are playing on these waivers while the court case plays out, because all you're doing is punishing the kid who won a court injunction now to allow a judge to hear arguments. So now it covers the spring semester. I think that's fantastic.
I mean, as it should. I mean, again, these and again, there's so many of them now. I feel like, even there's so many more now than there were a week ago. Even like we have like 5 different suits happening at once. And the only thing that I've ever said is, hey, man, like take the kids out of it. Like let the kids do what the kids want to do until you guys figure it out in a courtroom. The kids should not have to pay a price because you guys want to, bump your heads together, dude. Like it just doesn't make sense. So I'm really glad to hear that's the conclusion they came to, because I think it's proper, man. Let the kids do what they do. Let the schools do their thing. And when you guys have a definitive answer on how you want to, set these rules moving forward, then go ahead and set the rules.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see exactly how all this plays out. But I think we are moving closer and closer and closer to the NCAA having absolutely no power or influence over sports.
Mm-hmm.
I just think that's the way this goes.